Life. Something everyone goes through with many ups and downs along the way. But is it a good thing life exists? Is it good to live? Short answer, yes. Yes it is. But please don't click off the video yet. I want watch time. Wait and hear as to why I believe that life is at its core good and why we must spread life as much as possible. First off, most points being made against life being good are made from the essence that the misery that gets experienced throughout the course of a life outweighs that of the joy experienced. The argument of such is an overly nihilistic way of looking at the world, as is shown by many facts, such as only a minority of people being depressed. That kind acts are way more common than rude ones, in the world having any sort of order. The world having order, making it good, has a double meaning. One, that a societal order only being possible because the world isn't filled with so much negativity that it becomes an impossible task to create a working civilization. And two, that the world itself has order like the laws of physics. Without the laws of physics, the world would be chaotic, bad, and a mess. But it isn't. In direct opposition, it's filled with order, good, and laws. This shows that the world is at base level good, and that the misery within it comes after the foundation of good. And thus life, being built upon the foundation of the world, means that life is a blessing since it derives from a fundamentally good origin. And because life is a blessing, it's inherently good. Life is also blessed in the way that being able to experience the good that is the world is a greatly fortunate occurrence. Life is inherently good. The misery involved within it is a foreign plague eating away its quality, not a self-grown side effect. It's a flower blooming on fertile soil that sometimes has harsh rains fall on it. But is the flower to blame for being rained on, or is life at fault for having bad things fall upon it? What also gives life the title of being inherently good is that upward is an unending high that always continues to get bigger and bigger, unlike downward that has an end. Like if you're flying, the lowest you can go is the ground, but how high can you go? It seems without limit. You can go up and up, further and further into space, but you'll never reach an end. So it is the same with happiness. You can only get to a certain low and be depressed, but you can rise to way greater heights and be ecstatically happy. You just have to find a way to reach greater and greater heights. Just like flying, it isn't easy to go higher and higher, but it is possible. Most people get discouraged and stay at ground level or close because they have locked themselves into the cage of thinking they can't get any higher, and then they don't even try to. But that is no more than stupidity. They just need to have the confidence and try as hard as possible, and they will succeed in the end. Everyone will lose height at some point and have low points. They might even crash to the ground and it will look like they can't even get up again. But as long as they aren't dead, they can get back up and soar high, even higher than before. After all, the lowest number is 0, but there is no highest number. In the current modern society, there's a great tendency to focus on what you don't have and see only negative things. Seeing the glass half empty instead of half full, or focusing on what you have and looking at positive things. People have it way easier and have way more things and more privileges than ever before, but people still complain like never before. I'd bet money that even peasants from 1,000 years ago didn't complain as much as the average person this day. And if you sent them back those 1,000 years to live, they'd fall dead over faster than a day fly from the difficulty of life back then. What I'm trying to convey by this is that even though life is inflicted by many terrible curses that make it worse and harder, life is still in the end what you make it. If you decide to complain a bunch about how cruel and hard it is, it will only make it harder and worse for yourself. You can look at the cup and say if it's half full or half empty. That's up to you. There have been a billion people before you who have had it worse, and since you're watching this on the internet, there probably still is. Life isn't a bad thing just because you're unable to take the bad in it. You're just weak. The world is, without foreign pests, or in other words, at its core, a good thing, and thus being able to experience it is a blessing and a good thing. In life, being to have the chance to experience that world, even if in these days it has gotten a covering of blight over it, an inherently positive thing, which is the reason why it's good to save someone from death or the end of that experience, even if it's something they themselves have tried to enact upon their own body, or why it is a good thing to bring new life into the world, or to give the blessing of letting another get to experience the good of the world. The world is a sacred shrine, even if it has been covered by dirt that makes it look ugly and unattractive. It is still holy, good and great, and being able to see the shrine is to be blessed. And what is in it is good, and it is to be blessed to be in it, and thus good people will bring new people to see it and be in it, and to experience the blessing of the sacred temple. Good people will try and do something about the dirt that has come from the outside to cover everything inside, instead of wallowing in self-pity of how they have to be in a dirty building, and thinking it's the building that's bad for being covered in dirt. Life is a beautiful thing, both because of the fact its origin point is good, and it is made from an essence of pure good. I feel like I'm saying the word good too much, but also because of the fact its conception itself is a blessing, and still it does to others the same and blesses them. Just ask any mother or father if their child makes them happy, and they'll most likely respond with a strong yes. For most parents, their kid, or better yet kids, are one of the best things in their lives, and a source of immense joy. Having a kid is like a blessing that will in turn bless you. Everyone living in society has all sorts of people in their lives that they have various relationships with, and that includes friends. You probably also have friends. I do hope so, at least. And if you don't have any, join my Discord server and make some. I don't have a Discord server, but that would be a great ad if I did. But you probably like your friends, and if you don't join, but if you like your friends and think it's a great time when you hang out with them, try and think, what if they had never been born? Would you be as happy in life? Would you have anyone like them in your life? Life is a blessing that blesses others. A parent is blessed by their child, and so are people by their friends. Life is something that must be spread as much as possible, by virtue of it being a blessing, yet it still continues the same and also blesses. And because of that, life must be propagated, so that it being good can spread, and good can be spread, and there be as much good and blessings in the world as possible. All of what I have just argued for here is strictly in a philosophical sense, and if you take into consideration other reasons to propagate life in the vein of economic, cultural, practical, social and such reasons, those would also have many points towards more life being good, and I'll probably make a video about my arguments for those one day. But until then, you are the only one leading your life, so lead it to a good point. Don't let the bad parts drag you down.